You get to see the maple tree.
God damn it, MSNBC. This old white Canadian woman is pissed off about the cancellation of Joy Reid and ReidOut. I've enjoyed her since her weekend show AM Joy, and I've followed her for the past 5 years on the ReidOut, where she's had consistently good panels of guests. I mean, I've had my own criticisms about her publicly here on this channel for her take on Justin Trudeau's trip down to Mar-a-Lago, insinuating that he was kissing the ring, but I can forgive her for that. I can see how it might appear that way to some Americans. And she's had some criticisms about her ever-changing hairstyles and her fashion sense, but that's pretty trivial or superficial for such a remarkable woman. Fergus, stop it. Fergus is pissed off too. She also had some earlier controversies about her social media posts that seemed negative towards LGBTQ plus community and the Jewish community, which she's since apologized for, saying that they were dumb, ill-informed, and that she's since grown and changed her views. And her co-workers agree with that assessment as well. But this new president of MSNBC, Rebecca Kutler, with a K, but still, is cutting everything. She took over from Rashida Jones as interim president for MSNBC last month, and Fergus, head of MSNBC Mark Lazarus, stated in a memo that in the short time that Rebecca was the interim president, it became clear to me that she has the big picture, strategic view, and the right leadership skills to ensure MSNBC delivers on its brand promise and is positioned for growth during a time of industry change. Kutler herself was previously the programming chief for CNN Plus, the ill-fated streaming service that crashed and burned during AT&T's handover to Warner Brothers Discovery. In her memo, she stated that her goal over the years ahead is to build on that success, especially over the next year. This is going to be a really exciting time, but also a challenging time. She thinks it's important that we as leaders are honest about that and about the challenges ahead. Our jobs are hard on a normal day, and these are not normal times. Previously in a meeting, Kutler had told staff that over the past 2 years, I've had the privilege of learning how all of you do what you do so well. And you've been doing it for 28 years, and you've built something truly incredible. MSNBC is now one of the most engaged brands in all of television. We ended 2024 as #1 in cable news on both YouTube and TikTok. That is a credit to everyone on this call and everyone who has built the brand into what it has become over the last 28 years. Reid is not the only one that's lost her job. In a massacre-like move this weekend, Katie Fang, Alex Wagner, Jonathan Capehart, Eamon Moyadeen, and even Lester Holt are leaving the network. One of the only left-to-center options for cable news viewers.
Hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
Capehart, an MSNBC host and Washington Post associate editor, will serve as one co-anchor of the morning edition. Moyadeen will serve as an anchor of a different group on the evening edition. News about the cancellation of the ReidOut was leaked before the staff had even been officially notified. There's been a large surge of support for Reid on social media. Many are trying to convince MSNBC to bring her back, but why should she return? Why would she, after this shoddy and tactless move? She had just won 2 NAACP awards on the weekend, one for her best-selling book, Medgar and Murley, Medgar Evers and the Love Story That Awakened America, about the civil rights movement, and one for her show, The ReidOut, which MSNBC publicly congratulated her for, then turned around and gave her the sack the next day. The congratulatory post that I had looked up online has disappeared. On the last show of the ReidOut this evening, Nicole Wallace, Rachel Maddow, and Lawrence O'Donnell joined her and made their opinions known later in the evening for this move on their own programs, Maddow especially making her feelings very clear about the decision.
Where Joy Reid's show, the ReidOut, ended tonight. And Joy is not taking a different job in the network. She is leaving the network altogether. And that is very, very, very hard to take. I am 51 years old. I have been gainfully employed since I was 12. And I have had so many different kinds of jobs, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. But in all of the jobs I have had, in all of the years I have been alive, there is no colleague for whom I have had more affection and more respect than Joy Reid. I love everything about her. I have learned so much from her. I have so much more to learn from her. I do not want to lose her as a colleague here at MSNBC. And personally, I think it is a bad mistake to let her walk out the door. It is not my call, and I understand that, but that's what I think. I will tell you, it is also unnerving to see that on a network where we've got two non-white hosts in primetime, both of our non-white hosts in primetime are losing their shows, as is Katie Fang on the weekend. And that feels worse than bad, no matter who replaces them. That feels indefensible, and I do not defend it.
They claim it was low ratings. But we've all seen how Morning Joe and Mika tanked. They're still on the air. This is an incredibly tone-deaf and very racist appearing move. No white hosts have been let go or reshuffled in this shakeup, and the network is now planning to have rotating anchors in the 7 p.m. slot of Joy Reid, including Michael Steele, Simone Sanders Townsend, and Alicia Menendez. I wish Miss Reid the very best. And this could truly be a blessing in disguise. She has her writing career. She has her teaching career to fall back on. But we all want to see her back in front of the camera. Maybe the Midas Touch or Mehdi Hassan ZTO network could pick her up. Or she could even host her own show like Don Lemon did. Or go to Substack like Jim Acosta did. But whatever she chooses, she has my support. And I will follow her on Blue Sky. So make your feelings known at MSNBC. I will post a link in the description below that you can write to. And just tell them they suck.
But there's just one other piece of it that you should know. From your side of the TV screen, you will mostly see changes in terms of who's in the anchor chair. And actually everybody who's going to be in anchor chairs from here on out are great colleagues and great at what they do, and you are not going to be disappointed in who's on our air and what you're going to be seeing. But one thing you cannot necessarily see is that the people who get our shows on the air, they're really being put through the ringer. Dozens of producers and staffers, including some who are among the most experienced and most talented and most specialist producers in the building, are facing being laid off. They're being invited to reapply for new jobs. That has never happened at this scale in this way before when it comes to programming changes, presumably because it's not the right way to treat people, and it's inefficient, and it's unnecessary, and it kind of drops the bottom out of whether or not people feel like this is a good place to work, and so we don't generally do things that way.